Hey guys, today we're looking at simple interest. We're continuing on with our financial maths chapter, looking at simple interest today. A couple of key notes here. So interest can be an additional charge on a loan or a bonus payment on an investment. Okay, so it's how much you have to pay extra on a loan for having the loan or how much your money generates by investing in something. So whether that's in a bank account or investing in anything. So interest can be calculated using the formula I equals P times R times T, where I is the interest, which is what we're finding out. Principal is the amount that we've borrowed or we've invested. The interest rate is R, so that's how much as a percentage you make per annum. The rate, to work this out, it needs to be converted into a decimal or a fraction. Okay, and we'll go through an example of how to do that going forward. And then T is the time of loan or investment in years. So it has to be in years. So we need to work out what, if it was in months or in weeks, we need to work out what that converts to in years, which we'll go through in some examples. So it looks like this. I equals PRT. Obviously, I is the interest. And that's what we're finding out. P is principal, which is investment or loan. So that's how much you've got at the beginning. Okay, so if you're getting a loan for a car or something, you're going to pay interest, or if you put money into a bank account, you're going to generate interest. The rate is the interest rate as a decimal. To do that, you'd say it's 5% rate. 5% rate, you divide that by 100. Okay, so to work out your decimal for your interest rate, you get your percentage and divide it by 100. And then T is time in years. Okay, so to convert to a decimal again, so if we had a 10% interest rate, you divide that by 100. 0.10. Okay, to convert it into years, divide months by 12. By 12. Okay, we're going to jump into some examples straight away, working on this formula I equals P times R times T. So here's our first question here. Now we've got our P, our R, and our T. So it's as simple as putting it into that formula. So I equals 500, which is our P, times our rate, which is 12, but it has to be as a decimal. So it's going to be 12 over 100 times T in years. So if you're able to do that, sorry, T is 4. T, do that, just need your green calculator. 500 times 12 over 100 times 4. So our interest equals $240. Okay, so that means if you invested $500 in a bank account that had an interest rate of 12%, which is really good, in 4 years, you would have made an extra $240 on that money. Okay, or if you borrowed $500 at a rate of 12% for 4 years, you would actually have to pay back an extra $240. Okay, so it depends on what the question is. You're either going to have to pay it back or you're going to make that money. All right, the next type of question is similar, but we have to first work out the amount of simple interest earned and then the value of the investment at the end. Okay, so here's our question. That's our principal, that's our rate, that's our years. Again, we're going to put into that formula I equals times our rate, which is 3 over 100, times our years, which is 3. I'm going to put that in. times 3 over 100 times 3. So our interest is 1,080. So that's question I. So the amount of simple interest earned is 1,080. II is the value of investment at the end of the term. So if you've invested $12,000 and you've made the interest, the value at the end is just those added up, which becomes there you go. Okay, so that's your total value of investment. So you've put the $12,000 in. That money sitting in the bank account for 3 years has earned you an extra $1,080. So the questions for this chapter are literally just going to be putting it into that formula, making sure that we have our rate as a decimal and our time in years. Okay, so don't get tricked by those. You need to make sure that your rate is a decimal and your time is in years. You'll have a worksheet to go on with, so have a look at your Teams page. Thanks, guys.